Hey everybody, Kyle Goth here from GoatFromReviews.com and the Goat From Reviews YouTube channel. I've got another first reaction for Alex Garland's newest film, Men, which stars Jessie Buckley and Rory Kinnear and Rory Kinnear and Rory Kinnear and Rory Kinnear. Anyway, so the film, if you've seen the trailer for it, the funny thing about it is going into this, I've seen the trailer probably a half dozen to a dozen times, and every time I go to see a movie that had the trailer for this, there would always be one guy in the theater that when the title card Men showed up at the end would always groan. And I was always telling people, like, your perceived intention of the film is not inherently what the intention is. And watching a trailer that's called Men, that's a horror movie about a man and attacking a woman, essentially, does not necessarily mean that all men are evil. And the film proves that. I think some people watching this movie may perceive that the metaphor for it and the symbolism is that all men are evil. And I completely reject that nonsense. This is a movie that is layered in symbolism, layered in style, very much heavily, regarded as kind of this song that is basically being played out and echoed back in throughout the entire film. We see parts of that in the trailer as well, that Jessie Buckley she's humming, she's singing, and some other stuff is happening with that. And it's kind of this like constantly returning element to her, that the misogyny that's been around her, I mean, it's completely like hit over the head with the relationship between her and her husband, who we see in flashbacks before she gets to this house, that her life has been basically like taken from her and manipulated, so that she basically has to, in order to basically, how do I say it best? In order to keep her husband happy, she has to submit. And I think that's where Alex Garland is trying to tell us as a storyteller. It's maybe more powerful as a man to watch that and to see like the effects of the ways in which we speak to the opposite sex can have on them, but then how they can also just be overused and misused. I think this is a movie that has got a lot that is going to be thinking about, and I saw a tweet about it from someone who said like the last 20 to 30 minutes is going to shock and upset people, and it shocked me. Upset is a different term. I was kind of laughing at just how absolutely bonkers the last like 20 minutes of this movie is. But it's definitely a think piece. I don't know if it's as strong as Ex Machina or Annihilation. I would have to revisit those films to know for certain. But Men is a film that is crafted on more than two incredible performances from two incredible performers. Buckley is very, very enigmatic as it's her movie, and most of the movie is her by herself, even though she's surrounded by other people. But Rory Kinnear turns in multiple incredible performances, so much so that I wonder how long it will take people to recognize that it's the same actor playing all these different roles. Because the first character he appears as in the film is, I think, more made up, more done up than some of the other ones. And I think it's until you see there's a child version that we see in the trailer as well, that is a little bit junky on the CG front, because it's definitely Rory Kinnear CG'd younger. And I think that's the part where I think a lot of viewers are going to start seeing like, oh my god, that's the same actor. If they didn't already get it, that's the part that I think is going to get it for them. I think there's many versions of Kinnear's performance in the film, and all of them are quite interesting. And the way Garland constantly keeps us guessing by never giving us the answers, never giving us all the details, works to a point. This is, I think, Garland's weakest ending. And I don't want to say that it is the weakest ending, because the Ex Machina is a great ending, Annihilation is a great ending. Men is a great ending of the metaphor, a great ending for the style. It's not a great ending for the substance. And what I mean by that is, I don't feel like this movie has an ending of the story. The actual plot of the movie doesn't feel like it's concluded in a way that feels good as a storyteller to hear the ending. There's not really a full climax to the movie. There's a climax to the style, a climax to the metaphor, but there's not a climax to the story itself. And that's where the movie disappointed me a little bit. There's a certain point where I'm always fine with style and substance playing hand in hand, but when the metaphor itself supersedes the story you're telling, it doesn't always work. Now, there have been cases where I've really liked the metaphor kind of taking over. I really enjoyed the movie Mother from Darren Aronofsky. But I think part of that was me knowing that the metaphor was going to take precedence. I knew that going into that movie. This is a movie I still felt like the story was going to have a conclusion, and I don't feel like it had enough of one for me to finish my popcorn and be content. But it's definitely a movie I want to see again. It's definitely layers I want to peel back and continue viewing. It's a powerhouse of a visual treat. Even if the visuals on screen are not treating you too much, there's a lot of weird... I've been doing this video long enough. Weird shit, I can say. There's a lot of weird shit in this movie. There's a lot of bonkers stuff. And I think most of it works. But it's not a movie that's going to make everybody happy. But challenge yourself. If you've not seen Men, and if you think, oh, it's just going to be an all men are evil movie, it's not. It's a movie that showcases the worst sides of misogyny, the worst sides of men, which I think a lot of us do have elements of, raised or nurtured into us. And it's time to be introspective and look at that. And this is a movie that does confront that a little bit. And I highly recommend it. If you've not seen Men, go check it out. I'm trying to avoid spoilers here because there's a lot in this movie that I honestly feel like even if I spoiled it for you, you probably wouldn't really know what I'm talking about. So go see the movie, then come back and let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. I want to hear about where this ranks in your Alex Garland ranking, be it as a director or even as a writer. He's done a lot of written works that have been very, very well put together screenplay-wise as well. While you're down there in the comments section, let me know your thoughts. Like and subscribe to the video. It's 2 free things that you can do. They help support my channel immensely, and they make sure you never miss new episodes of the show as they launch. And you can always find goatfilmreviews.com for all my in-depth movie reviews and discussion. You can find my page, Goat Film Reviews, on Facebook. You can follow me personally at Almighty Goatman on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And you can check out my show with Nick Palachuk from the St. Paul Filmcast. We call it Kyle and Nick on Film. We have new episodes Mondays, Thursdays, and Scary Movie Saturdays. Those links are all down in the description. You can find our show for that as well. And thank you guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. I really want to hear thoughts on this one. Try to keep them relatively spoiler-free. Nah, I don't care. You know what you're getting into watching this. You can spoil, I guess, but skirt around a little bit and be kind in the comments. If you didn't like it because it just didn't work for you, I want to hear that. But don't be a dirtbag. Anyway, we'll see you later.